Alright, so I heard you want to be a running pro. Well, here is what you are gonna need. You better bust open the wallets because you're gonna need some super expensive sunglasses, the latest and greatest gear, and the best shoes that money can possibly buy. What? What's up, runners? I'm Coach Morgan, and I'm gonna tell you the top 4 things that pro runners do best so that you can look like a pro too. I want to give a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, which is GoodFOR CBD. Stick around to the end of the video and I'll tell you how you can incorporate it into your training so that you can look like a running pro too and get yourself a special little deal. Let's go. Pro runners know how to pace themselves. A lot of runners think that to get faster and to be better, they have to run every single run like they are racing. They think if they're not working hard and seeing those super fast splits, then they're not working at all. But pro runners know how to take a step back and slow it down. They keep their easy runs easy so that they can work hard on their hard runs. But staying up at these hard runs all the time isn't going to give you enough recovery so that your body can build back up and you can train harder the next day. And if you're having trouble piecing these runs together, you can click the link down in our bio to download our app. You can follow along with one of our programs from the 5K all the way up to the marathon. We lay out all the runs that you need right in there. Pro runners know how to fuel themselves. Now, I say fuel themselves because food equals fuel, and a lot of runners are putting the wrong kind of fuel into their bodies. If you're one of those runners who rewards themselves with a treat or kind of an unhealthy snack after each run, I'm not saying that's an awful thing to do because I'm definitely guilty of it, but how we nourish our bodies is really going to show up in how we perform out on our runs. If you're not getting that rainbow diet, as we like to say, with a different variety of fruits and veggies, then you're not giving your body the proper nutrients and vitamins and minerals that it needs to perform at that top tier. Let's think about it this way. Let's use an analogy. If we're cars, pro runners are putting premium fuel in their tank. They're getting their oil change exactly on the dot when they need to, and people who are really not caring, they let that change oil light on their car just go for miles and miles and miles. You know, their car is not gonna hold up as well as that person that's taking really good care of their car, right? So it's the same with fuel in our bodies. If we are not really watching what we eat and not picking out the proper nutrients and refueling after our runs and before our runs, then we're just not gonna be able to perform the way that we want. And a lot of runners actually tend to undereat. And we'll bring it back to that analogy. If you don't have any fuel in your car is not going anywhere. That is gonna sputter out, and you're gonna have to pull over to the side of the road, call up AAA. And no, I'm not just gonna sit here and tell you what new fad diet you should be trying out. The only advice to you is eating real whole foods, right? You wanna make sure that you're having a big variety in the foods you eat. Pro runners know how to recover. A lot of runners, when they get done with a run, they just put all this hard work into that run, and then they get home and they kick off their shoes and just whoop, sit down on the couch. Yeah, that's right, I'm looking at you. And you're probably wondering to yourself, why am I so stiff and tight and achy all the time? Well, pro runners really don't tend to have that issue that much because they're knowing how to cool down. They know how to recover properly. Look, I know that running takes up a lot of time and a lot of your energy, but please, to just take 5 to 10 minutes and stretch or foam roll after your run. You're putting in so much of your hard work and time and energy into that run to just kind of waste it all by letting your muscles get all tight and not cooling down and letting them recover in a nice elongated position. Pro runners know the better that they can recover today, the harder they can work tomorrow. Pros also know to use any product that they have at their disposal to boost their recovery. And that's why products like GoodFOR CBD are such a great tool to use. I personally like to use it after all of my hard workouts. My IT bands get so sore. I'm always rubbing it on there so that when I wake up the next day, my legs feel refreshed and I'm not feeling that tightness that I normally would, so that when I go for my run, I'm feeling much better. Shout out to them for sponsoring today's video. And if you want to try some out for yourself, we have a link down in the description below, so be sure to check that out. We have a special deal just for our TRE listeners. Pro runners know how to earn their miles, and that doesn't mean just the gear. Yes, it is super important to invest in yourself and invest in the proper gear, but real pros know that it's not just about the gear, it's about how you use that gear to perform your best. A lot of runners tend to lose motivation quickly if they're not seeing results and fall off the wagon. Pro runners know how to push through those low points because they know a high point is just around the corner. And I know staying motivated can be really hard, but lucky for you, I made an entire video talking about how to run when you feel like you just can't run anymore. So be sure to check that video out next, and I will see you guys in there.